Hey everybody, it's Matt. In this video, I'm going to audit one of my clients and good friends, Ben Kaplan. I think around $3 million per year agency. So I'm going to be doing a complete audit of everything that is public. There's not going to be any internal or behind the scenes details, even though I have some of those. I'm not going to put those on the internet for all to see and maybe copy. But I'm going to look at everything that Ben is doing well, what he is not doing well, what he is not doing at all, and so on. And the things that I'm going to take a look at in this video are things like the search results, the offers, the positioning, the website funnel, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, ad library, and then if I can get it, the first email in their flow after you opt in. If you've never watched one of my videos before, my name is Matt and I'm originally from Canada. I'm 29 years old, and over the past 12 years, I've been a part of 3 agency exits, so I kind of know what I'm doing in the agency space. I've learned a lot in the last 12 years, and all I really do is make an agency, sell it, wait for the non compete to expire, and then do it all over again. And I'm going to see what we can find with no accent colors in this video. So basically, what no accent colors is they place, colors with no accents for stuff like appointment setting and so on. So they do this in a variety of niches. So what problem do they solve? They solve X problem for Y niche through Z method. They solve appointment setting or getting more meetings for the real estate niche by placing colors without accents is basically what they're doing. So in this video, I'm going to go over what we should see and what should be happening for each part of their funnel. I'm going to make a checklist that I'll go through, and then I'm going to do a summary of what they are not doing and then some suggestions. So if you never watched one of my videos before, this is the funnel that I always go over. I made this in Miro board. It's a visualization of an excellent agency funnel that is capable of basically scaling infinitely. So that's what we're going to be going through, seeing what they have in this, what they don't have, what they should improve, and so on. So I've put together a bunch of links that I found for this client, and we're going to go over through all of these one at a time. So the first thing that I always like to solve or review is the search results. And basically the main thing we're looking to do, main thing we're looking for is what happens when someone Googles this person. So many of the people who receive our outreach or see our ads are not going to really respond or click to them. They're basically going to be Googling them and seeing what happens and seeing what they can find. The worst possible situation is nothing comes up at all. That is terrible, and it's like you're an anonymous scammer on the internet. The second worst thing is bad stuff comes up. That's still better than nothing. And then the final thing is going to be, it's all excellent. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to be looking for their website, their YouTube, their LinkedIn, their Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then some other kinds of stuff, usually third-party review sites, free communities, that kind of stuff. So I pulled it up here. I actually have a tab limiter that I'm going to put pause on so these tabs don't go away. But there we can see the website. What I would like to do is I would like to see kind of the more drop-down menu, if you know what that means, where you have all the different pages. We see the LinkedIn. We see some Reddit stuff. We have the Instagram. What I think we should be seeing is some sort of review sites. Looks like we have a WAP, which is a community. We're not really seeing any YouTube videos on the first page, which I think is a missed opportunity for what we're doing here. So in summary, what I would be suggesting is we need to, let's move my mic a little bit out of the way. What we need to do here is we need to have a better website indexing with multiple pages that take up more space. It is currently easy to miss the website. The second thing I would say, and I'm going to probably do 3 suggestions for everything. We need to have 6 to 12 YouTube videos, hopefully long form masterclass and or case studies that show up when someone Googles. Oh my God, with the typing. This is a great chance to show your face, build trust, etc. Very, very important. If you Google me, for example, you Google 1000x leads or something. It's a bad example at this point. Matthew Larson marketing. Like what we're looking for is this to show up. So he could have, Ben Kaplan, no accent colors or just no accent colors. We're looking for some of this to show up that shows our face, shows that we're a real person and that kind of stuff. And then the final thing is sign up for all of the review sites and start collecting reviews. So stuff like Google Business, stuff like Trustpilot, stuff like Clutch.co, Upcity, whatever is relevant to that niche of sites and so on is what we really need. So there we have it. We have the LinkedIn, we have the Instagram. We're going to take a look at those after, but it's just stuff that we need. So the next thing that we usually do is go over the offers. So the main thing we want to review based on their site, based on their search results, based on everything is we want to immediately understand what their offer is and who it's for. Because the problem with many agencies and websites is you go to their site and they have so much jargon or they have so much crap that you don't even know what they do at first glance. Remember, when someone's checking you out, it's not like they're a warm lead. It's not like they're your mother. It's not like they're your friend. It's not like they're me on this YouTube video. They likely don't care that much to go and figure it out. If it's not obvious what you do immediately, they're just going to bounce. So the things that I usually look for is, do we know what their offer is based on the above the fold? Do we know who it's for based on the above the fold? Do we know the deliverables? Do we know the roadmap and timeline? And then do we know how to get started? Those 5 things are basically the most important things that we can do. So the above the fold is the area that's available on the basically without scrolling. So that's on desktop, but more importantly, it's on mobile. So I have this great Chrome extension that my friend did called Mobile Simulator, where you could just kind of do this. So what do you think? So looking for cost-effective overseas cold callers, pretty good. Meet no accent callers. I really hate that headline. I kind of despise that headline. You need to do something with the result there. But affordable foreign callers with no accents that help businesses scale their outbound team at 80% less of the cost. In my view, this should be more what the headline should be than, what it is. I would probably put the headline as cost effective overseas cold callers and then have this as the headline. We do know who it's for, kind of, based on the above the fold. We do know what it is, so we're going to give them points for that. I think that it would be better if we essentially put this here as this, so cost-effective overseas cold callers, and then had a call out for who it's for. I think that would be even better. So essentially, we do know what their offer is. We kind of know who it's for. It's anybody who needs cold callers as implied. And the kind of client who's on their site would self-identify, okay, I need cold callers, this is for me, but we could even make it more clear. Do we know the deliverables? So let's see. So let's just go. Why no accent cold colors? No accent colors brings the leads to you. Industries, it's kind of need this, but below the fold. I would say that we don't know the deliverables, even though they're implied. I would like to see a section that specifically says what they're going to do. Do we know the roadmap and timeline? I don't think we do either. And we're going to go and do the same thing with their actual funnel after, but I don't think we do. And do we know how to get started? Book a call today is kind of a half. We'll give them half points for that, but we need to have a section how to get started. So what I would do is change we'll call it the overline to the actual headline, and then change the overline to call out the target audience. Put a section for the deliverables in plain English. Put a roadmap and timeline section for how long it takes between call booked to them actually being up and running. Make a more clear how to get started section beyond just the book a call buttons is what I would do here. So let's go back to the top because the next section is going to be positioning. So positioning is extremely important. So the main thing we're going to review here is we're going to jump ahead to stuff like their ads as well and their social medias and just their brand in general and see if they speak to the type of client they're trying to attract. A lot of people really mess this up, usually in the sense that the language they use, the offers they have, the proof they have is actually only appealing to a lower level of client than they're after. And what makes good positioning or not is really based on who your target market is. Like positioning for someone who's targeting beginners would be atrocious positioning for someone who's targeting Fortune 500 companies. But in the context of who they're targeting, it could be absolutely amazing positioning. So I just know that No Accent Colors is trying to target people who are going to spend about 15K per month or more. Usually that is going to be more professional, more, let's just say, established people who work in wholesaling real estate. So we're going to know and we're going to check out to see if that really appeals to it. In my view, it doesn't do a great job right now. If I was to do it, like tell them exactly what to do, because I know that a lot of their clients are going to be um, basically for this, like real estate, I would be putting stuff of instead of these stock images or whatever they call them, graphics, I would be putting actual like homes, actual stuff of that resonates with the target market. I'd be having a VSL specifically for that. I would be putting proof and names of people who are clients in those industries. Right now, this really just feels like a foreign looking website, if for lack of a better word. That's kind of what I guess it kind of is on brand because they're selling foreign colors. But I think this is basically just a clone of the ClickFunnels website that doesn't have too much design purposes behind it. And I think that a lot more trust and a lot more just everything could be built if we do a better job with the positioning. That's just on the website. For this, I think there's literally no cover image, there's no details, there's not really anything. They should have some case studies on here in the featured and page posts. Ben Kaplan is the owner here, and we won't go over his page. But I don't think like it does a great job speaking to said target audience, like especially here. What we should be doing here, in my view, is we should be putting something like this, hit the bell. We should be having featured stuff like case studies. He only has one offer. We should be posting stuff that resonates with the target audience. And I don't think really any of that is being done, in my opinion, right here. There's a bunch of reposts, but there's just not much else going on. Let's go over to Ben Kaplan, kind of a blank Instagram. Same with this. Um, The only problem I see with this is that, and it's nothing that can be solved, is but if we're targeting like super old established real estate brokerages, we probably want to have a more professional look type thing. Just my honest opinion, even though Ben is a friend of mine. I don't know where the Facebook page is, but I would also be, like this is good, but we should be having real thumbnails. We should be having all of that kind of stuff that makes this kind of good. I think a very interesting way to do it for this type of business is something like this, where if you're not going to spend time like going tons and tons of in-depth content, we could just answer different like questions kind of in like a 3 to 8 minute long form format with decent thumbnails. And the people who are coming in to book through ads or coming in through book through outreach are going to just see it and treat it more like a nurture FAQ than something that's actually going to get substantial traffic. So something like this, I think is not excellent positioning. Like if you are trying to see and attract like middle-aged, well-established wholesalers, like this dude this bro in a cap is probably not going to attract the right target audience. I can't imagine a 45-year-old man who owns a brokerage that does, 30 million in revenue, is married with 2 kids, who lives in the suburbs, like going to this ad and saying, "Wow, like I need to hire this company." Is just what I would say from a positioning standpoint. It is what it is in a lot of cases. Like everybody's at different stages. I'm sure that Ben is aware of this, but it's just one of those things.
Wholesalers looking to scale to 15 deals per month so that you could build.
This is a lot better, I would say.
Does it feel like the motivated sellers are hiding from you? Let my team of highly trained, highly qualified, accidental professionals.
That one's better. But I still don't think like this would require a lot of work to hiring like a face of the brand and an actor. But I think that if you hired someone to basically who's like a lot older, a lot more like the target audience to read this exact same script, I think it probably would do a lot better and attract the right type of people. Because realistically, what Ben's trying to do is attract people who can spend 15K a month or more, which is 4, as far as I know, cold callers. And I don't think any of the assets brand wide right now scream like that's who I'm trying to attract. This kind of just looks like stock images. It's not extremely explained, in my opinion. And we're not trying to shit on Ben. We're trying to give a realistic audit of his brand so we can have some suggestions. So what we do, like, do we instantly know what problem they solve looking by their profiles? We don't. Does their content and website resonate with the target market? I'd probably say no. And are they using the proper type of funnel for this? Basically, they're having an apply funnel, which I believe is a book a call funnel. Um, let's try here. I don't know why it's not doing it, but whatever. I believe the book a call funnel is probably the correct funnel because everybody knows why they need cold colors. It's not something that requires any intro offer. It's not something that requires a webinar. It's not something that requires a case study might be good. But right now, an apply right to the book a call is probably the correct funnel for this type of audience who knows what they need and they're just looking for someone to do it. So you need to fill out all social media profiles with proper, more professional branding. Speaks to the target audience more. Current branding looks very foreign and cheap or non-existent. Need to tailor the website to target, need to tailor the website with same feedback as above. Need to get more serious looking people in the ads. Even if they read the same script, it will perform a lot better with the target market as opposed to 21-year-old bros in their ads. Not shitting on 21-year-old bro. I'm sure that ad performs, but it's just one of those things. So the next thing that we should be looking at is going to be the website. And we kind of already did this, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth because at the start we kind of did it to their offers, but we're doing the website here and now. So do we know what they do from their headline? We kind of went there. We don't. We do it from the overline and we know it from the subheadline, but we need to really change this to cost-effective overseas cold colors, in my opinion. Then we can also target the, do an overline here with the target audience, and it will just solve both problems. So I would say they somewhat have enough optimized above the fold. If we just got rid of this or changed it to a review or a call out, we got this fixed up. We made this so we can kind of read it on 3 lines instead of 4. Take that successful business thing out, put the VSL above the book a call, then we'd have an optimized above the fold. There's also a lot of unnecessary space taken up here. So I would say no. We don't have an optimize above the fold, but it's about 7 out of 10. Do we have a how it works section? I would say not really. Not anything that I would say that really is skimmable at the very least. Do we have the testimonials, reviews, and proof? No. And do we have a how to get started section? We don't really have that either. We have this, but I wouldn't say that's a get started section. That's more of like a basic call to action. I'm talking about book your call. You're going to go over it with Ben. We're going to do a recruiting phase. We're going to do set up 3 interviews. You're going to choose the best one. We're going to hire them type thing. So I would say we really need to do a better job of, you know, optimizing the above the fold by making more space. We need to add the how it works proof and how to get started section. Those, there's not really any feedback to those, they just don't exist. A lot of the other sections I would say are not that useful. So let's go to their funnel. So we'll go and we'll look from our ads. So let's just click on an ad because this is going to be their funnel. So they have a few different ones. They have obviously real estate, they have solar, they have all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go and look at it here. So let's bring it over here so it's right beside. Do they have an opt-in form? No, I don't think that's a problem in this case. They just kind of need their stuff to be there. So if we go to what were we doing here? Let's open one of these videos. Normally, you're going to want to have a link right here at the very start and in the pinned comment. That is kind of where they don't have this opt-in page. We could add it, like it could be a guide for getting more leads and stuff, but it's fine that we don't have it. Do they have a sales page with VSL and proof? I open that here. So they have a VSL, kind of proof, I would say. Okay, now we have some proof. There we go. So we do. Looks good. What I would just do is I put a headline summarizing it so it's more skimmable, but or I'd put their industries here, but I would say this does well enough. Do they have an application form? Yes, they do. So let's just see. What we're looking for here is a few questions that call or like disqualify people. So I like this. It's do you like it puts the price in there. I really, really hate the $1,545 per month to $25,000 per month range. I understand that that's probably true, but there's no reason to have such a big number if 90% of your clients don't have that. It's going to scare people away, in my opinion. How many deals do you do a month? Does your real estate business do at least 10K per month? So we have a application form. Are they DQ'd? Do they have a book a call page? I'd probably put the headline up here as well, just to reiterate and make it congruent through the whole time. I'd also probably like to ask more information in this form. I don't know, but I usually will put the price in this form again. I'll usually ask, how did you hear about me, which is good for my information. How long did you know about us? Where did you find out about me and how long did you know about us are 2 great questions because those will really determine and they give you more context to the call. If someone on my form said, I heard about you from YouTube 6 months ago, that's going to be a very, very different call than I just received your cold email, for example. And it's just good information that helps you on the call. I'm not going to basically schedule a call here to see their thank you page. I think that's just fine. And then do they have a welcome flow and a pre-call flow? I know for a fact that they do because they're my client, but we're just not going to do that for this one. So put an opt-in page with a master class as the link from all content and redirect it to the VSL page. Put summary or industry or something above each piece of proof to provide context. Put more questions on the Calendly that are good info to know, such as where did you come from and how long have you known about us. Change that type form to a page instead of a pop-up. You will get a higher conversion rate due to better user experience. Also, on the type form, don't have such a wide range as it probably scares people away. That's what we would say to here. Next thing we're going to do is their LinkedIn. So to give you an idea, we're going to do the LinkedIn, then the Facebook, or then the Twitter, then the Instagram, the Facebook, the TikTok, the YouTube, the short form content, the ads library, and then we're going to be done for this video. So let's go to their LinkedIn. What we really want to see is how their profile is set up, how valuable or actionable their content is, how often they post and how consistent they are. And then we're going to basically review how effective or ineffective they are at getting that traffic to their funnel. So if we just go Ben's profile, I don't think this is exceptional branding at all. I would like to see at a real cover photo here. I would like to see the problem they solve here. I would like to see a lead magnet link here. Just for starters, really. As far as their content goes, most of his stuff is going to be reposts or just once in every few months. I would say he wants to make some threads or some carousels and images daily. Uh, the proof is good. I like it a lot, but very, very inconsistent. So I'd be posting content about sales systems, appointment setting systems, how the clients can set up their website, how the clients can, build out their sales process, all the above. And currently that's just not happening. I'd probably rate this LinkedIn as a D, to be honest. And the only reason it's a D is because it exists. An F would be it doesn't exist at all. Fill out the cover image with proper branding and a way better profile picture. I guess is not a very flattering profile picture for what we're trying to attract. Link put the problem you solve as your description and a link to a lead magnet as your profile CTA. Start posting at least once per day with useful content on how the leads can grow their business. Set up your featured posts linking to your correct industries. And that's just for starters. This is really leaves a lot to be desired, this LinkedIn. Let's just put it that way. It's just no good. So let's go to Instagram. Basically, this is going to be the Instagram. We could also open up his personal one and see if that's any different. So we have more content on the personal one. I build call centers, no accent callers. Probably take out the West Palm Beach, probably get a better profile picture. What I'd be doing here is kind of like doing like this, where we have a bunch of highlights that we have basically testimonials, we have results, we have hiring, we have whatever. This looks a lot better than what we have right here. Let's see the highlights. Like this is definitely not going to help you build your business. Just saying. But looks like we have some content here. We have the website. We have all that kind of stuff. I'd just be posting more so this kind of stuff gets dragged out. Like this is going to be, especially, I don't know which profile we're running the ads from. We're running from no accent colors, so that's fine. But if they find this is not going to help you build your business. I'd probably just delete that or make a real business account for personal stuff. Again, I like the thing that we're doing here, which shows off the actual recording of the callers. I think that's very good. I think we really need to make this a lot better, just because this is where the ads are actually being run from. So we need it to actually be better than what it is. Everybody who sees the ads, a lot of people are going to click onto this Instagram and this is what they're going to see. I don't think this is a perfect representation of, being applicable to the target audience. It's just what we're going to say lightly. So Instagram need way better personal and professional profile. Delete, hide the old photos, stories, etc. of you partying in college. That would be good. Add actual professional looking highlights for clients, client wins, testimonials, results, etc. And then format your bio better so it is easier to read. Like again, the no accent colors one is especially important because this is the one that they're actually seeing in the ads. And a lot of the clients come from ads. So they're clicking on this, they're seeing this, and this is what they're going to see. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be really what you want. It's just one of those things. So we'll do that. And it's going to be the exact same feedback with Facebook, I imagine. Where let's click on this ad. So now we have here, looks pretty dead. We need that cover photo. We need way better content. We need to post and keep posting content. We need to do something about either getting client results or not getting better results. It's not looking good where your actual ads are going to this profile that has 2 negative reviews and nothing else, has very, very little posts at all, has no short form content. So this is actually a situation where our ads are actually being worse and negatively impacted by our profiles. So we really need to do something here. So get at least 10 client reviews on Facebook that are positive to drown out the 100% negative ones so far. Get the proper cover image and branding. Start posting short form with your face daily. Like this is currently actually terrible. And this is making his ads way worse, to be honest. No accent colors on TikTok. If the TikTok doesn't play a big role, it doesn't play a big role. I'm not really going to say anything besides, start using TikTok if applicable. Wouldn't say this plays a huge role in his business, so I'm not really going to spend too much time roasting it. So let's go to their cover or their YouTube. No cover image right now at all. Not good. This is not set up with an actual link. So if we go to, let's just go to mine. We want to have our lead magnet here. We want to have this thing here, what you do. We want to have what you do here. So we need to basically make a cover image and a link to your site lead magnet at a very minimum. So no, their link is not going to their main lead magnet. We click on it. You need to have link to your site lead magnet. Offer as the first line in all video descriptions and pinned comment. Get proper video ideas plus titles plus thumbnails plus scripted intros. Start posting at least 3 times per week, something like Gen Zone if you don't want to put in a tremendous effort. So not too much good going on, to be honest.
Video to the end. This video, if you're thinking about hiring a VA,
You also need a better camera.
there's a way to generate.
I would actually say that he has scripted intros, so I'm going to be fair here. So let's just do that.
go to Upwork, and go to Fiverr, and go hire someone overseas who will probably manually skip trace their true people search. For
This probably is the right content, to be honest. It's just not posted consistently. The titles are ish. There's no thumbnails. It just is what it is. But it probably is the right content. He just needs to actually do the rest that leads to actual traffic from this. The last thing we're going to do is the short form, or actually, the second last thing is going to be the short form content. So we have that on the LinkedIn or the Instagram, it looks like. I'd be just posting that on Twitter and especially Facebook because that's where the ads are coming from. Probably wants to do the comment X and you'll get a free guide on every post that will get more comments and more traffic. Definitely should be posting subtitles right above below his chin. That's where people are going to be drawn to the most. And also, like, videos are played on mute by default. Look at this. If I would have no idea what he's saying if I didn't turn on the sound, and spoiler alert, lots of people won't be turning on the sound. It's just one of those things. Also, they don't have a caption, so Instagram algorithm doesn't even know what they're about. So we just need to make it better there. Subtitles below the chin, captions, post on all platforms, use an actual cover image. So there's a few ways to do a cover image, like my friend Nick here, like, he does it like this, makes it look really professional in the feed. Very good. It's just what it is, and we need to put some effort into it. The final thing we're going to do is the ad library. So we're going to look at a few things. Are their paid ads congruent with their landing page? Do they have subtitles? Do they have good visual hooks and then good audio hooks? So we're not going to review we could review the static ones because the headline's very important. I think those are pretty decent headlines, to be honest.
wholesalers, does chasing leads feel like this? But you want it to feel like this. Let my team of highly trained, highly qualified, accidental professional wholesalers.
Unless he has it set up, I think this might actually get cut off in the feed, but
but you want it to feel like this. Let my team of highly trained, highly qualified, accidental professional.
I don't know if that's the proper hook, to be honest.
Wholesalers, does chasing leads feel like this? But you want it to feel like this. Let my team.
So that's a hook. Like, what I'd be doing is I would take this VSL, I'd be recording 3 or 4 new hooks every day and just be flooding the ad library with this, to be honest. Same with, well, can't really do it with this, but the volume of ads is not nearly what's required to scale in the way that he wants to scale, in my opinion. So the second I found an ad that works, I would just be taking that ad and editing tons and tons of different hooks on it. You could record the hooks at your desk, could record them anywhere. It's just trying and seeing what works the most. So as far as congruency with the landing page, Solar Pros, get professional cold colors who book. Yeah, I would say it's true. So I think it does a pretty good congruency. I would definitely put this as a button on a separate page, but these ad things look good. So that is going to be my review of No Accent Colors. Think he's doing a really large amount of revenue for something that is not optimized on almost any platform. So that might sound critical, but that is actually really good news because I'd say that he could probably scale to 2 to 3 times what he is now if he just does some of the stuff I did in this video, which is excellent news. For every positive or for every negative, there is a positive. Although we have almost nothing optimized here in the way that I would suggest, sorry, uh, that's a good news, is because if you do it the way I suggest, you're going to really, really scale. So I hope this audit was valuable, and I'll see you next time.